All right, we are now recording. Welcome to 10 Baby Steps to Google Classroom. This is day 2 of 3 that we will be doing together. And if you haven't already, you're going to go to Google Classroom at classroom.google.com. You're going to click the plus sign in the top right corner. Make sure that you're using your personal Gmail. And the class code is WVF2DMQ. And then if you're already there in Google Classroom because you've already joined our class, you're going to complete these 3 tasks. Open the slides under classwork, and then you're going to sign in on assignment 2. And I'm going to show you what that looks like right now. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen really quickly. And then I'm going to reshare my screen so you can see everything. And I'm going over somewhere to Google Classroom. So you go to classroom.google.com. Once you're there, you're going to click on the plus sign and join the class. And the class code is right here, WV, and I'm gonna put that in the chat as well. Sorry for all the flipping. I'll just drop this in the chat. Thank you, Sophia. And so you would copy and paste that code right there and then join the class. And then when we click on Google Classroom and I click on people, I can see that Connie and Barbara and Lorena and Sophia and Mar and Brenda are all in the class. And I think that matches our participant list. So Ada, if you're not able to get in, let me know in the chat and I can walk you through that. So once you're in Google Classroom, you're going to click on classwork. And at the bottom under welcome, notice how it says follow along with slides. Here you're going to click on the slide so you can follow along and add that to your drive so you can refer back to it. And also make sure that you sign in by clicking on sign in, click the sign in form. I'm going to go ahead and paste this into the link as well, into the chat. And thank you for taking the time to sign in. This will validate my Google Trainer certification. You'll be selecting 3.2, the 17th. And we'll just add your name and information. So go ahead and take about 2 minutes to do that. And while we're waiting for people to sign in, I'm just gonna let you know what's next for us today. Oh, also, those of you who filled out the evaluation form on Monday, thank you. The big takeaways I got from your feedback that I'm gonna try to apply today, and you guys can hold me to this, is I'm gonna slow down. I was going a little fast. 45 minutes, man, it just flies by. So we're just gonna take our time and go slow. And this time I'm gonna mean it. And someone suggested adding more time. So here's the secret. We officially get out at 4:45. I'm gonna keep going with an after party, and that's when you get to hang out and have one-on-one time with me and ask whatever questions you want. So I'm extending it for an optional 15 minutes for those who need it. And then and someone recommended really clarifying that the training will be conducted in Google Classroom and recommended that I shared my screen. So that's why I took some time just now to show you. And of course, if you need to go back over these videos, one thing that I will point out in Google Classroom is that under course materials, there's a Google site. And if you click on that 10 Baby Steps to Google Classroom, I'm going to paste this into the chat as well. But on this site, you'll be able to see a link to the sign-in. So you can sign in right on the website if you'd like. If you click on slides, you'll be able to find all of our slides to refer back to. You'll also find all of the session links below that you can just click on, and it will open a new tab and take you right to it. Under videos, this is where I'm going to be putting our module 3 videos. I haven't added any yet, but I'll start adding those this week. And then under evaluation, this is where you'll be able to give me some feedback on tonight's meeting, and I'll be able to make changes. And then under resources, you'll have some cool things to check out here. And I just wanted to point that out to you. So today is day 2. I'm going to call it 3.2. And on Monday, we went through steps 1 through 4. We didn't quite make it to 5. So tonight, we're going to cover steps 5 through 8. And then on Friday, we'll conclude our time with steps 9 and 10. And for joining this course, we're asking that you, oh, and also I'm just going to mention that we have 5 participants right now. So welcome. And we're asking that you join the Google Classroom with your personal Gmail. And again, my name is Hans Tolman. So happy to be here with you this evening. Thank you guys for taking the time to do this. And if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. We will be having our after party at 4:45, so you're welcome to hang out and join us for that. If you have any questions, that's when you can get one-on-one coaching time with me. For my intermediate and advanced technology ninjas, watch out for Hans Pro Tips. One feature that you have in Zoom is if you click on participants, you can click a thumbs up or maybe a yes or no. So I want to ask you a quick question. Are you familiar with Google Classroom? Go ahead and find your bar either at the top of your screen, your Zoom menu there. Click on participants, give me a yes or no. So thank you, Ada. I see your response. Sophia, I see your response. Okay. So the other 3, if you get a chance to let me know if you're familiar with Google Classroom, you can click the green check mark yes if you click participants, or no. Thank you, Brenda. I appreciate it. And I'll check back on that one. So I'm going to skip ahead since we've already gone over the first 4 steps. And just a reminder, on slide 23, you're going to see our class objectives. And I'm going to go into present mode here. And in these objectives, you'll see all 10 steps to Google Classroom. We've already learned how to sign into Google Classroom. We've created a class, we've posted an announcement, and we've talked about inviting students. So step number 5 is customize your classroom. And if you need to review these steps, you can always click on any of these steps and it will take you to that slide, just like that. So we're going to be customizing your classroom, and the way we're going to do that is we're going to start by changing the theme. And I'm going to read through the instructions, and then I'm going to model for you what this looks like, and then I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do this task, to do this step. So first, you're going to go to classroom.google.com, click on the class that you created on Monday, and at the top of the header image, you're going to click select theme, and then you're going to choose an option. You're either going to select an image from their gallery, or you can choose a pattern. For those of you, if you have a device that has a class photo that you would like to upload as your header, you can do that, or any photo for that matter. So those are the steps. For my intermediate or advanced, I'm going to challenge you to customize your own Google Classroom header with this Google Drawing template. That's my challenge for you if you are intermediate or advanced. If you're a beginner, here's what you're going to do. You are going to go to classroom.google.com and you are going to find the classroom that you created. I created this class right here. So I'm going to click on that title to open the class. Here I see that I'm in the stream. My header image has already been chosen for me. And Mar, I see that you're struggling. So what I'll do, Mar, is I'm going to, thank you for letting me know, by the way. I definitely don't want you to be lost. I'm going to paste in the slides into the chat. Oh, you're fine. Okay. Good. Glad you found your way. I don't want to leave anyone behind tonight. So, I'm in my Google Classroom. On any page, I can click Select Theme. From here, I have a general list of themes, images. If I click on English and History, I see those types of classroom themes. Under Math and Science, I have those. Arts, Sports, lots of sports, which is awesome. And then Other, you'll be able to see a variety of things. Since I have Mr. Tillman's Rock Stars, I'm going to go under Arts, and I'm going to click on this band theme. Once I select it, I'm going to click Select Theme. And then it will change the image at the top and also the color of my class. Notice how the word stream and that underline line represents that color that I chose. Now, if you want to take it to the next level, you can upload your own photo by right below Select Theme on the right of the header image. You can click Select Photo, click Select Photo from your computer, and upload any photo that you have on your computer. When you do that, it's going to show you what's going to be visible, so you can drag the corners of this rectangle and customize whatever you want your students to see. I'm going to click Cancel. So that's what we're going to do right now. You guys are going to add your own theme, and I'm going to set a timer for 2 minutes and let you guys do that. On your marks, get set, and go. And for our music selection this evening, we are going to be going with something a little more quiet. I'm going to go with Deep Focus Steady Playlist. And if it's too loud or too distracting, just let me know in the chat. my time's up. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the music. So hopefully you guys had a chance to change your theme. Did anyone try the Google Drawing template to create their own theme? I'm just curious. And since we have such a small group, feel free to drop answers or questions in the chat, or you can even unmute yourself. No? No? That's cool. All right. We're moving on to the next step or the next task to customize your classroom. And here we're going to go in and we're going to adjust the settings in Google Classroom. And I'm going to give you the instructions and I'm going to show you what this looks like. So first we're going to click on the settings gear in our Google Classroom in the top right. Looks like this. We're going to add a class description, including the welcome and purpose of your Google Classroom. For general settings, there's a class code that we can display right there on our screen. If we have students sitting in front of us, or if we're screencasting to record, we can reset the class code or copy that class code and paste it in an email to parents or whatever. For the stream setting, this is a choice you're going to make about what posting and commenting permissions do you want your students to have. Do you want them to be able to post on your stream anytime they want, anything they want? Or do you want to limit them in a certain way? For classwork, do you want every time you post an assignment, do you want all of that to go to your stream? After, 20, 50, 100 assignments, that stream is going to have a lot of information. Or do you want to hide that classwork? And then there will be an option to generate a Google Meet link, which is like Google's version of Zoom. So a few tips that I have is adding a description where you have parents in mind. So if you have Spanish-speaking parents, maybe include a Spanish translation right below your English description. I like to reset the class code until there are no horizontal lines or circles, because is that a 1 or an L or a lowercase l? What is that? Or circles, is that a lowercase o? Is that a regular O? Is that a 0? So I just reset until I don't have any vertical lines or circles. And I turn on the students can comment on posts, because communication is a 21st century skill they need to practice in a safe place. And I hide notifications from Classroom, and I activate the class Google Meet link. So now that I've given you the instructions, I'm going to model for you what this looks like. So I'm in my Google Classroom. I click on the settings gear at the top. Under class details, you can see my class name, and I can make changes if I want, or add information. And here I would take some time to add a welcome message, kind of like the announcement, and the purpose of the classroom. What can they expect to find here? Under general, here's the class code. If I click on this pull down menu, I can display it. I can even make it full screen. I typically do this when I'm in a classroom, and I'll just leave it up there on the screen while students are signing in and I'm going around the class helping them get signed up. And next to stream, do you want students to post and comment, or just comment, or only teachers post and comment? I go with students can only comment on the posts that I post, so they can ask questions about those announcements. For classwork on the stream, I hide it because I don't want a big long list of assignments on the stream that's unorganized. And if you're in your personal Google Classroom, you will not have an option to turn on the Google Meet link. I'm going to click Save. But if you are on your district account, I want to see if I can show you really quickly. In the settings, you can turn on this Meet link by flipping that switch. So I've just given you the instructions on how to change your settings. Now I'm going to give you 2 minutes to do that. On your marks, get set, go. Just play some music while you guys do this task. You have about 1 minute to make those adjustments on your Google Classroom settings. If you're not sure what to do, you're adding a class description that includes a welcome and the purpose of your Google Classroom. You're making a decision about the class code, the stream, and classwork. And then make sure you click that save button at the top right. And our time is up. I'm going to stop that timer so we don't hear that annoying buzzer. Hopefully you guys had a chance to adjust your settings. That was step 5. Guys, are there any questions so far? If there are, take a minute to open up your chat and drop those questions in there, or feel free to unmute your mic. And if there's no questions, we're gonna move on. So, step number 6 is to create topics. And topics are categories under which you can organize assignments in Google Classroom. Like if you look at my slide, I'm gonna turn off the music. If you look at my slide, you'll see 2 topics. My bottom topic is week 1, COVID-19 electives begin. My topic above that is week 2, communication. And a pro tip is to add emojis to the topic. Adding an emoji to the beginning can help your students identify it, especially for your K through 2nd grade students who may struggle with reading. And that will help them differentiate between topics as you're posting. I also use emojis on my assignments, so they, just by looking at that little picture, they get an idea. If you don't know how to add an emoji, what you would do is you'd go to emojipedia.org and you would search for an emoji like, I'm gonna put virus. And there's a microbe. I can copy that, Control C, after highlighting it, Control C. Okay, so I'm gonna pause. Someone's asking, I misspelled the class title. How do I edit it? Check this out. You're gonna go into Google Classroom. You can click on the settings, and there's your class name right there. And you can make any changes you need. We also had another question. Okay, cool. So the streaming, okay, Mari, you got the streaming information. You guys are so on the ball right now. So anyways, emojipedia.org, highlight, Control C, copy. And then, is that Monica Daniel in our class? Oh, not the streaming info. Sorry, Mar. If it's Monica Daniel, then we have a legend in our midst. Just saying. So, in the settings, next to stream, where it says students can only comment, you have 3 choices for student communication. You can make it so students can post and comment anything on the stream, so they can just post a random topic, like say, what's up, and they will do that. Or you could limit them to they can only comment. So you can only post, like an announcement like we did, they can still comment under that, which gives them, you know, a little bit of communication capacity. Or if you feel like your students cannot handle that, or if you haven't had a chance to talk to them about communications, a 21st century skill, you can leave it so only teachers can post or comment, which means students wouldn't be able to comment and communicate. So, and then for classwork on the stream, you have 3 choices. Show attachments and details of all the assignments that you post and have that show up on the stream, or show just condensed notifications, or hide all notifications. And I opt to hide all notifications. So I hope that helps. Aw, thanks, Monica. You're welcome. Yeah, feel free to hang out if you want. I will drop in the link to our website. Feel free to use it and abuse it. I don't know where I'm at. There I am. You're welcome, Mar. Thank you for asking the question. All right, so copy emojis, and then I can go back to Google Classroom and post my topic. So that's a quick tip for topics. Now, the way that you create a topic is you're going to go to classroom.google.com, click on the class you're working in, click on classwork. At the top of classwork page, you're going to click the button create, and then you're going to select topic, and then you're going to type the name of your topic, and then you're going to add it. So I'm going to model to you how this looks. I'm going into my Google Classroom. At the top next to the word stream, I have classwork. And then I'm going to click the create button. I'm going to scroll down at the very bottom and choose topic. And this is where I get to paste my emoji, or I can just write the topics. I used to write topics like reading, science, writing, etc. But after going through distance learning, I started labeling them with week 1. So I'm going to call this week 1. And I'm going to put whatever focus for that week. Launching distance learning. And I'm going to click add. So there's my topic. It's ready to go. If I wanted to work ahead, I could create the next topic. Week 2, communication. And the cool thing about topics is you can click, drag, and drop them and change the order. If I was doing something chronological like this, I would always put my newest topics at the top so that my students don't have to scroll down and find the newest thing at the bottom. So that is how you create topics. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to create 2 or 3 topics. On your marks, get set, go. Oh, I have a confirmation from Monica Daniels. Same here, topics by week and date saved me. So she just doesn't put week 1, she adds the date as well. Awesome. And while you guys are working, I'm just gonna add a little bit of music. You just let me know if this is too distracting. Also, if you guys are on Twitter, feel free to drop in your Twitter handle so that we can follow each other and learn from each other. So I'm having a question from Barbara. Can you add an emoji at any time or only when creating the topic? You can come back later and edit those topics and add those emojis, so you don't have to do it now. All right, you have about 20 seconds left to create 2 to 3 topics. I'm gonna stop that timer so we don't have to listen to the annoying alarm sound. Awesome, hopefully you guys had a chance to create your topics. Creating your topics ahead of time is a way that you can set up a structure. You don't have to create all the topics at once, especially if you're doing it by date. In fact, you're welcome, Barbara. In fact, I would probably just do 1 week at a time. All right, so you guys just completed step number 6. We are moving on to step number 7. And this is where we get into probably the main meat of Google Classroom, and that is creating assignments, questions, and class materials. This is going to be the main thing that you do in Google Classroom, as well as give feedback and grade your students' work. So I'm just going to walk you through the steps, and then I'm going to give you some time, 3 minutes, to create some classwork. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to classroom.google.com, click on the class that you want to add, select classwork, just like creating a topic. At the top, you're going to click on that blue create button. And for this first activity, I'm going to have you create an assignment. When you create an assignment, I would like you to title it, add instructions, and don't add or create any resources just yet. Now, before I model this for you, just a quick hashtag Hans Pro Tips. When you're naming your classroom assignments, I'm going to recommend you use a numbering system like hashtag 001, hashtag 002, and title your assignments with a short, task-oriented, specific instruction. And for my intermediate and advanced technology ninjas, add emojis to take it up to the next level. For example, on this slide, I have hashtag 001, emoji, horn, check in on Flipgrid. Hashtag 002, play Interland and become internet awesome. So very short, but task-oriented assignments, titles. So I'm going to model to you how you would create an assignment. You're going to go into your Google Classroom, select classwork at the top of the page. You're going to click create. And then assignment is at the very top. And then it puts your cursor right in the title field. And this is where you're going to type your title. Now I'm going to encourage you to use some type of numbering system. Hashtag 001 is how I do it. Check in on Flipgrid. That's it. Now below, I would put the instructions for this assignment. So like I would actually number the instructions of what I want them to do. So Step number 1, students or parents reading this, click on the Flipgrid link. Step 2, sign in with your Google account. Step number 3, click on the green button. Step 4, record a short video answering the questions in the description. And that's it. Now, at the bottom, this is where I could add a Google Drive document or a link to a website like Flipgrid, or a file that I upload from my computer, or a YouTube video. And I don't believe there's a limit on how many things you can add to an assignment. Or you can click the create button and create a doc on the fly, slide sheets, drawings, or a Google form if you want to quiz them. I'm not going to add anything right now, but I want you guys to look at the left side or the right side of my screen. If I click on under 4, I get to choose which classes I assign this to. So if I'm a junior high teacher, I could assign it to multiple periods, or maybe I only want this assignment for certain students. I can select either all students or specific students. Do I want to give points for this assignment? For me, this particular assignment, I'm going to leave ungraded. Do I want to due dates with distance learning? No. Under topic, what topic is this going to go under? Oh, here's my topics. I'm going to choose week 1. I could also add a rubric, but I'm not going to do that right now. Now at the top right, I can click on assign and it will be live on my Google Classroom under classwork, where all students can see it and complete it. Or if I click on this little down triangle, I can schedule it for a later date and time, or I can save it as a draft, or I can discard this draft. I'm going to show you what happens if you save it as a draft. Let's say I'm not ready for my students to do this assignment. I'm going to save it as a draft. And now I'm back on my Google Classroom classwork page. Under week 1, I see where it says #001 check in on Flipgrid, but it's gray. That means I can see it as the teacher, but my students cannot. And it also is tagged as a draft. If I need to change it, I can always click on it and edit that assignment and assign it right now. And when you click assign, it says assign this assignment. Students will see the assignment immediately in their streams. So I'm going to click assign. And there it is. It's now been assigned. It's under week 1 and ready to go. So I would like you to think about, what would the first assignment you want your kids to be in Google Classroom this next year with possible distance learning? What do you want them to do? So I'm going to give you 3 minutes to create an assignment. And if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. On your marks, get set, go. You have about 1.5 minutes to finish your assignment, creating that assignment. Consider titling it with a number sequence. Consider putting step-by-step instructions. Don't add any resources just yet. Look on the left side or on the right side of your screen and look at those pull-down menus and make some decisions over there. About 30 seconds left to complete this task. Ooh, happy hour is back tomorrow at Starbucks. Hello. I don't go to Starbucks. Once you taste really good coffee, you just can't go back. I'm sorry, Starbucks. We had some good times. I'm going to stop my timer so we don't have to listen to the annoying alarm. All right. So hopefully everyone had a chance to create an assignment in Google Classroom. And since it's already 4:43, we don't have enough time to do this next task, which would be, I would want to take time to create a question. So what we'll do is we'll end this session early, and then on Friday, we're going to pick up our last session together, and we're going to cover the rest of step 7, step 8, step 9, step 10, and that will conclude our session. So your guys' feedback was so helpful on the evaluation that I want more of it. I can't get enough feedback. Oh, Sophia's asking a great question. What kind of coffee do I drink? I drink espresso drinks. So things like cappuccinos, lattes, cortados, things like that. That's kind of my jam. Like right now I'm in Bakersfield, California, and I'm at a cafe conducting our meeting. And I had a wonderful cappuccino. And I have an espresso machine at home. I just dig it. So if you guys wouldn't mind, take 30 seconds to give me some feedback about this module. I'm going to look at that, make adjustments for our last session together, because I can always do better. So I'll give you guys about 30 seconds to do that. Guys, thank you so much for coming this evening. I'm going to be hanging out here until 5 o'clock because I'm hosting the after party. Boom. So if you need to go, feel free to say goodbye in the chat. And the rest of you, ooh, Mars gets organic beans, Love Light roast. That's my next step, Mar. You're welcome, Brenda. Thank you for coming tonight. So Mar, that's my next step, is to, like right now I get a Lavazza pre-ground coffee because I don't have a great grinder right now. But once I do get that grinder, organic beans, local. Thank you, Luz. Thank you for coming this evening. We'll see you Friday if you can make it. But yeah, that's my next step, Mar, is to take it up to organic beans, freshly roasted. I've even seen people on YouTube that have like a little mini roaster and they roast their own beans, which I'm not quite there yet. Who knows? It could happen. Well, if you're hanging out for the after party, feel free to unmute your mic, and you can even, you know, turn off your camera or turn on your camera and ask questions. If I see your face, then I know that you're not a robot. So that's a plus. Do you guys have Zoom meetings with students who won't turn on their camera?
I didn't have any Zoom meetings, so
Okay.
I avoided all that. But I did hear from a lot of other teachers who were doing that, that was a common problem. So.
And cameras aren't for everyone. You know, there's some shy people. I do feel like there is value of having that visual connection with teachers and students. But then there's also kind of the comfort of anonymity when you don't have to turn on your camera.
Mm-hmm. I do have a question, Hans. Yeah. In creating assignments, I did add a YouTube video to mine, because I don't know if I told you, but I teach kindergarten. So like my assignment would be watch this video. Is it possible, I use sometimes like View Pure to like, what, I don't know if you call it clean, or to make sure that they can't access any pop-ups or anything like that. Would that work in creating an assignment, or it needs to come straight from YouTube?
Great question. So I'm going to show you what it looks like when you add a YouTube video to your Google Classroom, because this is a really great feature that not a lot of people know about. I just have to find a Google Classroom. That's it. So on this assignment, I'm going to click View Assignment, Instructions. Hit the three dots, Edit, Add, YouTube. And I'm just going to search YouTube for something about Flipgrid. How to teach remotely with Flipgrid. That's what I want. I'm going to click Add, and then I'm going to save it. So when your students go to this assignment and they click on the YouTube video, watch what happens. This is what they see.
In this video series.
So they just see this kind of black screen. It doesn't have any thumbnails.
Okay.
Now, under more videos, there are thumbnails, but I think they would have to click on more videos or maybe X out of those. So that might be the downside. If I go to the end of the video and have it finish, let me just go all the way to the end.
Any of my weekly updates. Thanks so much and have a great week.
So after the video ends, you will get those pop-ups.
Okay.
But if you are, what was the name of it? Is it an extension, or is it
I use a couple different ones, but one that I use is called Safe YouTube, and you just copy and paste the link in there, and then it takes away all that extra stuff.
Perfect. Yeah, I would continue to do that.
Okay.
That might be more effective than that interface that I just showed you. And Mar says, I'm still invisible. My district doesn't want us to use Zoom. That's the case for a lot of districts because of the Zoom bombings, because it's not as secure as it could be. So in our district, we allow Zoom and whatever, because I don't think we've had any huge Zoom bombings. But the local community college here had someone displaying child pornography when they Zoom bombed, and horrible. So, but we're training our teachers on Google Meet. It seems to be a little more safe and secure and integrates a little better with Chromebooks and things like that. And Barbara, what grade do you teach?
I actually am retired, and I worked 38 years at my district, and now I work for an organization up north called SEAL. in which we teach teachers. It's the largest English learner initiative in the country. We're servicing 13,000 kids by teaching the teachers how to make content and curriculum accessible to kids that don't speak English really well. And so the problem is, in March, we had all these trainings going and everything was canceled. All flights were canceled. Everything was canceled. And so we've been going virtual. Now my son uses, he's a teacher, teaches music. And he uses Google Classroom all the time. He actually put me as one of the students so I could see
So you can
what's
kind of see what
going
it
on.
looks like.
But I have never set it up. And see, he got his master's degree in educational technology. So he had all of this all set up where kids would listen to excerpts of music, comment on it. He'd give them a section, few measures of music according to their instrument, had them practice it, and then submit a video to him for assessment and stuff. So he's got all of that. He was all ready to go.
So
So
amazing.
he didn't feel the heat at all, but the rest of us. So we've been creating webinars to try to take a 2-day training and truncate it and make some independent learning activities. And the thing that I don't like is that I don't have a handle on the extent of the interaction with the content. You know, I can watch it while I'm cooking or, you know, and I'm not really paying attention. And you know what I mean? It's like that having somebody right there in the same room with me is how I really validate that if they're getting it. I read their faces. If they're not, half the time they turn off their video and I can't, you know, it's like I'm talking to a name. And see, when I came on, I couldn't get my video to work. No matter what I did, I don't know if you could have seen, if you saw me or not, but I even clicked on the camera at the bottom, which had a slash through it. I kicked it and it still stayed slash. So I don't know. Sometimes I think maybe it's my computer that maybe is overloaded with all these other files and things that it's not functioning as well.
And you're using the Mac, right?
Right now I'm using my PC. I'm a PC kind of gal.
Okay.
And so I was telling you last time, I right click all the time on my Mac and it's like nothing happens. So, but they did, this organization is a philanthropic organization that is gets donations from all these big businesses because they're up in Silicon Valley.
Wow, that's great.
It started with the Sobrato family. That's why it's called COE, Sobrato Early Academic Language. And they are billionaires with a B. They made all their money in Silicon Valley by constructing, you know, a workplace for Google or for, you know, or for Snapchat or whatever. And they created whatever they wanted with fiber optics and whatever, and they just made hand over money. So they wanted to give back to Silicon Valley, and they went to a researcher in Berkeley. Her name is Dr. Lori Olson. And they said, we looked at other programs, but we like she published several documents where she said her most famous one is reparable harm. Keeping the unkept promise to English learners. You know, we told kids if you come in kindergarten, by the time you're in high school, you'd be totally fluent and caught up and everything, and not. So they gave her as much money as she wanted to create whatever she thought would make a difference for kids. Instead of trying to alleviate long-term English learners in high school, she worked the other way and started to prevent them from even happening. And she said her work would be that if we started in preschool and we taught teachers and we brought superintendents and directors and principals and curriculum people and actually coaches on site full time to support teachers going through the program, and parents, especially parents, that she said, if you give me these kids in preschool, by the time they're in third grade, we'll close the achievement gap for English learners.
Wow. That's
And
incredible.
what happened was she was wrong. It wasn't third grade. The achievement gap was closed by first grade. But when you go into a first grade classroom, you can't tell who they're all raising their hand, they're participating. Everyone feels a part of the curriculum, part of the school. And so I had retired and they wanted to bring it to Southern California. So I was recruited. I'm like one of 2 trainers in Southern California. There's like 15 in the north. So, but I work in San Bernardino, but not Bakersfield.
Oh, very cool. What a great opportunity for you.
Yeah, so I really wanted to get a handle on Google Classroom, how to set things up. Not that I necessarily have to do that because I don't have a class, but I wanted to be a resource to teachers that are saying, you know, how
Right.
can I fine tune
Gotcha.
this curriculum we're giving them? How can I transfer it into my virtual classroom with my kids?
Okay. And Mar, I'm seeing your question. How do you post exams in Google Classroom? Is it possible? Mine are in PowerSchool Learning now. So if there's a link to the exams you've already created in PowerSchool, you could add those to Google Classroom. If you're looking for something that's more customizable and Google-y, then what you would do is you would go into classwork on Google, click create, and then quiz assignment. So if you select quiz assignment, what it's going to do, it's going to create an assignment that will have a blank Google form attached. And if you click on that Google form, this is where you can ask questions, and you can add as many questions as you want and choose a variety of question types. But the cool thing about Google Forms is that you can go to the settings cog, click quizzes, and you can make that a quiz and have it automatically self-assess that quiz as long as it's multiple choice options. So that's kind of the short answer of can you, oh, you don't want to rewrite all of the language questions? Gotcha. So if there's a way that you can share a link to what you already have on PowerSchool, and kids can just click on that link and sign in with their PowerSchool account or however they sign in, that would probably be the easiest way to do it. Right, okay. Great question. You're welcome. Well, guys, folks, we're gonna end our time today and we will pick up where we left off last time.